shows. Hey, YeRin, hi.
Hi.
Hey.
I thought about it, being relaxed,
Yeah.
how to relax. And I think I reached to an answer of some kind.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I think being relaxed means being sort of satisfied where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really hard to relax if you're not. It's just like telling yourself, here is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't have to go get to some optimal place that, exists in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. I wish I could think more like that. Am I put a lot of pressure on myself, so sometimes
Mm,
sometimes I have to trick myself into relaxing by doing
yeah.
things like I do watch a lot of television to do it,
Mm,
and um, and I don't know if that's always so relaxing. Although you got me started on TikTok, so now I watch TikTok.
whoa. I
Which
know that.
I,
I think it's
I
dangerous.
it is. I've gotten rid of it twice, you know.
uh, so there was
And
a time.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard because it's linked to Instagram. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But yeah, in terms of me relaxing, I think that you're really, from what I'm hearing from you, you're kind of talking about a mindset that allows you to relax and to slow down. And
Mm,
and I find sometimes that that I have to trick my mind sometimes by exercising or doing something physical or, you know,
yeah.
pushing myself in a way that I have to deal with the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a big thing in terms of like exercise. I don't really do that as much anymore because I I was a fan of classes and
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm being an old man about doing them on Zoom because I really just like the feeling of other people, you know,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
in the same room with me, you know,
Uh-huh.
and
It's different. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
other yeah, but at the same time, I think that things are okay, that it doesn't have to be more than what it is really interesting because um, I don't know if we're always taught that, taught to that what we have is enough. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
I've had time to really think about this since, things have slowed down. And if that's really an American philosophy to be okay with what you have, it seems like I consume a lot of media that tells me otherwise. But
Right.
just a fair warning, I'm a little grumpy today. I'm going to try not to be grumpy, but
Mm-hmm. No, you know what? I had such a weird day. I had such an indulging day. Geez, I'm gonna confess. So I haven't smoked cigarettes for,
uh-oh. I'm
yeah,
just joking. I'm joking.
yeah. No, I like been off of it for like 4 months almost, and then I had one today. I feel very
Um,
ashamed. Yeah, I haven't had a puff for 4 months, and then I broke today. Cause my boss was like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "All right."
yeah. Did you feel pressure from your boss to do it so you could bond, or was it or did you really just want a cigarette?
I wanted one, but there was, who knows? But at the I could have said no, but uh, I did it.
That's okay. I mean, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it again, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that
I
was
used
a moment passed.
a what?
That was a moment and
Oh,
it
a
passed.
moment. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to kind of have a ritual. So when I lived in New York, uh, it was a lot of new things for me. And
Mhm.
so I had to create these little rituals. And there weren't rituals, but I had to create a routine. I figured that was like a way to give myself some structure, was to create a routine. And one of the things that I did was every Friday at the end of the week, I would have a cigarette on the stoop of my
Uh-huh.
apartment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really the cigarette that I wanted. It was just the act of that relaxing, like
Yeah.
thinking, this is what I associate relaxing with. So
Yeah.
I think that was part of it too, was like just, and then after a while I stopped doing it because I ended up, starting to know people and being able to do things on Friday night, uh,
Mhm.
which was basically getting drunk. And no, but it was different than smoking. But it was actually kind
Yeah.
of it gave me a reason to slow myself down and kind of look at my neighborhood. And actually, like you said, it was very much about being in the moment and just kind of accepting things as they were. And
Mhm.
and then after a while, I think uh, I stopped doing the smoking and I just started eating party mix. I would get party mix, uh,
Oh, uh-huh.
and it was the Utz party mix that has all the different kinds of all the different shaped crackers in them. So each cracker I could look at and think about it.
Mhm. Yeah.
What happens to me when I doodle is I do kind of go a little bit stream of consciousness. So I hope you're all right with that. The other thing,
Yeah.
the other thing I heard about was uh, that actually people can't, they really aren't able to multitask. That when we multitask, actually the functioning of our brain lessens. It's like we kind of become like about a 10-year-old, 8-year-old mentality because we're having to
Mhm.
divide the tasks. So sometimes
Mhm.
I blame not being able to keep one train of thought on that, on multitasking, because we're drawing at the same time as talking.
Yeah, I feel like drawing and when the doodling is like the best is when you're listening to someone talking. Uh
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my opinion. Like
Yeah.
classroom doodlings are the best ones.
Yes. Yes. Some of my some of my best doodles actually happen during like Zoom or during meetings. The problem with
Yeah.
that would be that people would be like, oh, you aren't paying attention because you're doodling. But in some
Right.
ways, I
That's
think,
not true.
yeah, I think you're actually freeing up, maybe freeing yourself up to be able to concentrate on what's being said because you're keeping your hand
Mm.
busy, maybe. I don't know.
Right. I think
Um,
so. I
yeah.
think so.
And I find sometimes what happens um, is when I first start to doodle or if I first start to draw, and I'm kind of an anxious drawer, I like to do it quickly
Mm.
uh, because the process I do in my studio is very slow. So this is a
Yeah.
relief for me to kind of do it. But I find that the more I do it, I would say, about a half an hour to maybe 40 minutes in, I
Mm.
start to relax and slow down. And it takes me a while, but I find that
Oh,
my sense of
Morgan.
my sense of time slows down.
Yeah. Good friend Morgan joined.
Oh, Morgan's coming. Great. And could you tell me a little bit about Morgan?
Morgan, I'd say Mo.
Uh-huh.
It's a good friend from college. She's a video artist.
Uh-huh.
I just told my coworker about a story that happened between me and Mo. So Morgan was friend with me when I first came to United States, and I didn't really speak English that well. I was learning and catching up, and I said the N word to her, and
Oh, okay. All right.
and then she looked at me and told me, "I know you don't know better, so I'm not slapping you." And then looking into her eyes, I learned that it's a no-no word.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
where did you learn that word? Did you learn that word in Korea?
No, I learned it in Baltimore.
Oh, oh, okay. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but you hear things and that visceral feeling of like that impact is not there if you're learning the language.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that's when I learned.
You know what's interesting about it though is it's kind of like the fact that your friend did that, I think is great, you know? Like that
Yeah.
your friend um knew you could handle it, didn't try to protect you from it, from like
Mhm.
didn't, you know, because there's some shame in understanding how that language can offend people, you know? Like it can make you feel
Mhm.
bad. And I think it's good. Like I've had people tell me like, you know what, I found that offensive. And if they hadn't told
Mhm.
me, I might have continued to just keep doing it, you know?
Yeah,
And
that's very true. Yeah.
and to taking it back to our theme, you know, it is a slowing down. It's like rather than letting it pass, like
Yeah.
like here's a moment where someone could say, "Hey, I want to tell you something," or they could just let it pass, you know? And the fact that she took the moment and kind of said, "Oh, guess what? We don't do that," you know, is cool.
Mhm.
I think that's really cool. So, and she became your friend.
Yeah, we've been friends a long time, though we live far away from each other now. But
Uh-huh.
I like that being adult, like being grown up. You don't have to be right next to each other all the time to be friends.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing sometimes when you're next to each other to be friends, um, you start to take each other for granted. So you don't really even
Mhm.
like, you just know that they're there and that's comforting, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
that's what happens with me at least. I'm like, oh, you know, they're right down the street. I don't, you know, need to follow up as much. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
they moved away,
Mhm.
which is what you did.
Oh no, like
Boo.
we
Huh?
miss you guys. Like we're really missing you guys. Like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, now that we have a cat, so this is for
Mhm.
everybody who's listening. Um, we have a cat. So there's a neighborhood cat uh, where we live and where YeRin and Aaron used to live, and um, that mother seems to have a baby, have a litter like every, I don't know, year. I don't
Yeah,
know.
every
All I
year.
know is there's lots of, you know, crying. There's more. I think they're in heat again, and we're like,
Oh,
oh
dear. Oh
no, oh
yeah, that time
no.
of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were there when we found, you know, basically a 2 day old kitten, you know,
Yeah.
and that's how you got your cats too, right? Same
Right,
mother.
right.
Right.
Same mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that makes us cousins.
That's for kitty
Yeah,
for kit.
our cats are siblings.
Yeah, you know, my cat has we have more to talk about with this. But
Yeah.
my cat is definitely um, pretty crazy right now. The claws
Mm.
are completely in, the new teeth are in, and he is
Mm.
just like attacking everything. So,
Oh
you
boy.
know, but it's like, oh, this is what I would be like if I was a parent, you know, like, oh my God, I can only imagine with humans.
Yeah. I know our cats are basically, they wake up, ask us to open the door, and then they go outside, and then they have their life, and they come back when they want to come back, and we give them food. That's our relationship. They don't tell us what they did all day. They just do their thing.
Right.
And yeah.
We're not letting the cat out because we're afraid it's going to get eaten, you know?
Yeah, I think that's wise because I mean, I don't worry that they will get eaten, but they are killing so many lizards, and I'm sure defenseless little birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but so we are hoping to bring them inside 100% in some
Yeah.
time in the future. Yeah.
Would you say that your cats at this age are helping slow you down?
Oh yeah, definitely. They are much sweeter, affectionate, and they stay home more. So we're thinking in few years we don't have to like let them out every day.
Ah, interesting. I've never heard of people reversing it. I've heard of people with indoor
Mm.
cats letting them get used to being outdoors, but I've never heard getting them to come back in. Interesting.
Yeah, I heard that it works. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I like yours. Looks like makes me think of like fern growing by the water cliff.
Great. Yeah, I find I make certain shapes over and over, and I get really into the, you know,
Mhm.
just making the shapes repeated over and over.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like these are kind of like virus doodles. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been into this the micro world.
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like dinosaurs. We don't know what color they are because the light can't reach it. They're too small, and so it's just whatever you think it is.
Right. You know, people are starting to share cat stories. Someone said that Linda said that their cat came back after they got hit by a car. So they were like, okay, I've had enough. I'm staying indoors. Wow.
Uh,
And you're restoring, and what are you restoring right now? Because you're a restorer, right?
oh, restoring?
Yeah, isn't that what you're doing now?
Yes, and this place is a church. It's not actually. We're doing a lot of old wood surfaces treatment, but also doing some faux painting. So turning plaster surfaces to look like wood.
Right.
It's like another very different aspect of art labor. I've been doing all kinds of art labors. This is way far into industry now.
Huh.
And it's interesting to me because I'm working with all the artists, and everyone I'm working with are artists in their own time, but
Nice.
we all work in the construction site.
Yeah. Well,
And it's very, very cool. Yeah.
it's nice to work with other artists. They understand kind of
Hmm.
like
Right.
the same relationship to work, you know? Because I think
Mm.
when I've been an artist, I feel like, well, I am an artist, but I haven't been working in environments where
Yeah.
I have bosses that, I have some bosses that understand that I make artwork. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they necessarily, it's because we're different kind of artists. I don't know if they necessarily, I don't know if we share the same weirdness, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Or whatever, I wouldn't say necessarily weirdness, but it's like a sensibility. I think sometimes when you, well, at least for me, when I'm an artist, I feel like I have to work straight jobs. I call them like
Yeah.
straight jobs, and the people don't always, understand the same ways of life, But I guess it's like I should give them more of a chance, to do that.
Oh,
But
sad is a pop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it. I think I enjoy it. There is a certain benefit of doubts between. Yeah, yeah.
So usually I keep this to about 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
just because I think, I don't know, I think the 30 minutes is good,
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
So I'm going to turn the camera back around, but I just wanted to thank you for sharing your doodling with us, and I wanted to thank you for sharing kind of the situation that you had, learning about language. I really appreciate you sharing that, because it's an opportunity for everybody to learn from you, and
No, I thought that was a funny story.
yeah. I thought you said I did. I thought you did too. So I appreciate that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna go ahead and switch my camera around, and
Can
I
I
will.
keep in here?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in.
Yeah. And
Alright.
yeah. Can you want to do it too?
Okay, I'll do it. See, I don't want to get my face.
Oh, it's all right. So YeRin, can you tell people about where they can follow you at YeRin37 on
Yes.
Instagram?
Yeah, YeRin 37, and then I have Booby Loves You, but the production is on hold due to the traveling job. But yeah, I'm around.
Well, we'll have to talk some more.
Yes.
And it was really fun to do this, and thank you. Also, too, please, everybody follow. It's Booby Loves You, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have it in my Instagram, and follow it, because it's the other half of relaxation. It's the smoking half of relaxation. And some beautiful, beautiful things that you do. So
Thank you.
yeah. All right. Well, I will talk again soon, and have a great, week, and a great weekend. So, and as for everybody, I just wanted, and I'm going to switch it over, I think. And just to say to everybody, next week we'll be with Shinsuke Aso, and he and I will be talking. The theme will be no class, and the theme is kind of about, being a professional versus an amateur, figuring out ways to make work or do things where you expend less energy so that you have a better time. And also kind of people who teach themselves things as opposed to going to school. And really happy to have YeRin tonight, and happy to have these guests show up with me. And please tune in next Friday. I always post the times on my Instagram channel, which is Ryan Hill Studios. And we have guests every week this February. And this is all free. And this is just for us to get together and break up our week with something that either we don't do very often or we don't do with other people. So anyway, thanks for coming, and have a great week and a great weekend. And I'll see you next Friday, hopefully. Bye.